Hey everybody, welcome back to Magic Orthodoxy. My name's David, and this is a Magic Review. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another Magic Review. That's what we do here. That's what we do Monday through Friday, doing Magic Reviews every single day. I also do giveaways. I do giveaways every single month. That means if you hit like, subscribe, and follow, if you push those buttons, you'll be notified the next time we do a big giveaway, because I give away thousands of dollars of magic every single year. So I guess the question is, do you like free stuff? Because if you do, you should hit like, sub, and follow. Hey, today we're going to look at another effect from Chris Rawlins. You might remember a little while ago I did a review for roulette. Right? He had a roulette deck, and it was a marked deck with a roulette theme. This is part 2 of that. So this is Modern Oracle. This is a deck that he released after the roulette deck. This is something he did with John Cottle, and you can pick this deck up at Stevens Magic for about 45 bucks. So let me tell you what Modern Oracle is. Modern Oracle is an even simpler idea than a roulette wheel. I think more people will understand what a magic 8-ball is than roulette. We've all heard of roulette, but the chances that we've all played roulette, probably not as high as have you held a magic 8-ball in your hands? I have, right? I never owned one, but I had friends that did, right? So the idea behind a magic 8-ball is you ask the magic 8-ball a question, you shake it, and the die rolls around to either a yes or a no. Sometimes it says something vague, like ask me again later, but it's basically a yes-no device. Well, this is a yes-no deck. Half the cards are black, they have a black face, and they all have different answers, but they essentially all mean no. And then half the deck is blue, and it has yes. Your spectator can shuffle them all up to their heart's desire, and then we begin to ask the deck questions, and the Modern Oracle reveals yes or no. And here's the best part. The backs are marked, so you will always know what the answer will be. Do you want to see the cards? So it's just a matte black box with the Magic 8-Ball logo. It says test your fate on that side. Ask me anything. 8-Ball Oracle made in China. 8-Ball Oracle. The back has a little bit about the game, right? Shuffle the cards, ask a question, turn over the deck to reveal the answer. Going through the cards on the back, you're going to have a field of black with the 8-ball graphic, right? And it's a nice small deck. Good cardstock, will last you forever. So here's those yes responses that you get from the blue cards. And then if you go all the way to black, here's your no responses. And of course, you can shuffle these to your heart's content, and you will always know the outcome. And if you're sitting there wondering, like, how would I use this? Well, imagine they just shuffle the deck. Now the deck is on the table. You haven't touched it. You haven't come near it. But yet you can read the top card, and you know if it says yes or no. So then you'll ask the spectator to ask the deck a question. But if the card topmost says yes, you know the person should ask a truthful question. So if you look down and see yes, you'll just ask the spectator, well, let's just test it out. Ask the deck if your name is really Karen. So the person will say, is my name Karen? They'll turn over the top card and they'll say yes. Now, if the next card says no, then you know now you can ask the spectator to lie and say, okay, try it with a different name. Say, is my name Bob? So they say, is my name Bob? They turn the next card over and it says no. So by knowing in advance what the card's going to say, it directs you on the spot to come up with questions to make the answer always go the way you want it. And here's the best part. The tuck box that I showed you, it has a built-in peek device, which means if you have a stack of billets, you could have the spectator write anything down on their billet. You could slide it into the tuck box to hide it, but then you can get your peek. Now you know what's written on the card, and then you use the Modern Oracle deck to reveal the answer, yes or no, to your questions. And you can phrase the questions any which way. So let's say, hey, I don't have a deck of cards, but I have these stack of billets. let's just come up with a card. So think of any card you want out of an entire deck, write it down on the billet, and we'll put it away. So if they write 7 of clubs, you just drop it in the box, you get your peek, have them shuffle the cards, and now you just play the regular questions that you would ask. So you know it's 7 of clubs, right? So now you ask the deck, you see the top card is yes. So then I ask, is the card black? Turn it over, yes. Is the card a spade? Turn it over, it says no. Is the card a court card? Turn the card over, it says no. See, so you just guide it through. And the spectator can turn the cards over, right? They shuffled, they turn the cards over, you're not touching it. So it becomes this really spooky kind of fortune-telling deck that always answers the way you want it to. So you're gonna get the deck, you're gonna get an hour and 17-minute tutorial. In the tutorial, John Cottle and Chris Rawlins sit down, they talk about the history, they go over what you get, how the deck is marked, and then the tricks start at about the hour mark. So after 17 minutes, they start. The first trick is an opener. It introduces the idea of the trick. You're gonna see live performances and studio performances. And the first trick is the spectator writes down an object, so a car, an airplane, a boat, something like that. And then the deck reveals what it is. And then they covered the fact that, yes, you could do the same trick with a card reveal. They also talk about how you could use this deck for Out of This World, because it's automatically sanctioned into 2 colors, right? Blue or black. And they cover a ton of other ideas that this deck could do. And really, it's all in your imagination. Like whatever you want to make this deck do, you can make it do. Because you will always know the answer. You know what the deck's going to say. So it just guides how you frame your questions, right? And you can get your read from at least a good arm's length away. So if you're seated at a table and your spectator's next to you or across from you, you can easily get your read without having to worry about, well, I can't see very well or I wear glasses. It's a pretty easy read. So pocket space, it's a very small deck, right? Very small deck, perfect for mentalists. I think one of the reasons mentalists don't like carrying around a deck of cards is because of how big it is, right? A stack of billets with a rubber band around it, much smaller. Angles wise, there's nothing to see. They're never gonna see the mark. It's not like there's a big Y on the back or a big N on the back. It's nothing like that. It's not like the 8 is upside down on one card and right side up on the other. It's not like that. They would never see the marks and they wouldn't know what it was. So everything can be inspected. Slides and difficulty level, nothing's happening. The spectator's doing all the work, right? They shuffle, they reveal. All you're doing is reading the backs to get a yes or a no. So positives, I think Chris Rawlins and John Cottle have done it again. Great deck. I loved roulette. I love the roulette deck. I love this one. I think they're both fantastic and they both serve a great purpose. And like I was saying, you can pick both of them up at Stevens Magic. The negative for this one for me was it was an hour and 17 minutes long and there was no time markers. Just if we're gonna make downloads that long, I like some markers in there so that I know where things are. But also that it was filmed as a jam session. So it was filmed as a jam session, so tricks never felt isolated by themselves. Here we're teaching you trick A, now we're teaching you trick B, now we're teaching you trick C, now we're teaching you trick D. It was like one trick with multiple ways to do that style of trick. It wasn't like they had 15 tricks and they all were named and I could just go to them wherever. It was like a long discussion. So sometimes when you film those type of jam session videos, it can get lost in just banter and chasing after rabbit trails. So I like things to be a little bit more concise. I like my videos to be a little shorter and more directly to the point, but that is just me. And I'm probably weird, right? Stevens Magic, that's where you want to go. Big, huge thanks to them for allowing me to have this so I could do the review for you. I'll see you guys next time. Bye. Hey, and lastly, I would like to remind you that mine is not the only voice out there. When making a magic purchase, be sure to watch other review channels to get a well-rounded opinion. Please don't take my word for it. I am just one voice. There are plenty of other fantastic review channels out there, and you should be listening to all of them. I've included several of my favorite channels here, but I'm sure you know of a few others. Please do yourself a favor and subscribe and follow these talented people as well, so that you're always making the best purchase possible that fits your style and your character. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.